How's everybody doing? So, just going over the Trump timeline real quick. We know that he has to eventually be assassinated. That is, as of right now, we know that he is receiving his corona, his crown. And a crown was given unto him, and the whole world is giving him this crown right now. The Pope stepped down as the vicar of Christ. Problems with the crown in England, William or one of them leaving with his wife, just drama, just symbolic drama, just to show you that the Antichrist is receiving his crown. And I just did one, Trump the Antichrist, part 15, that talks about how there's two Trumps, which is how they pull off the fact that the Antichrist saw one of his heads as if it were wounded to death, and the deadly wound was healed. And the way they go about doing this, and I've showed y'all how they've been showing us with predictive programming, cloning. The first beast, he's the beast out of the sea, whose deadly wound was healed. They should make an image to the beast which had the wound by the sword and did live. So he is going to come back, seemingly risen from the dead. That will be part of the Lord will send them a strong delusion that they will believe a lie. That's not the lie, but that is part of the lie. If you were going to say there was one lie, that would be the lie. But there's going to be all kinds of lying signs and wonders, plural. I think that's in 2 Thessalonians. Might as well open that up too, huh? The day of the Lord doesn't come until the man of sin be revealed. That is when the falling away occurs, when the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition. We just got through reading that in my daily Bible study I do on Facebook. Revelation 17 also speaks of, remember, Revelation is written in sections. Antichrist in Revelation 6, Antichrist in Revelation 13, Antichrist in Revelation 17. And then you got the removal of the church, Revelation 7, 11, I think 14, and definitely 19. He's going to exalt himself above all that is called God or that is worshiped, so that he sitteth in the temple of God. Some people say, like, our body's the temple. Again, there's two types of calling, there's two types of wills, and there's two types of temples. You're fulfilling God's will, even if you're a goat, because like Paul said in Romans 9, 11 through 24, who has resisted his will? You can't. If you're Pharaoh, born to be Pharaoh, that's what you're going to be. You're going to be a goat. Goats are born goats. Sheep are born lost, but sheep are born sheep. And then there's doing the will of God, which means doing what he expects his sheep to do as he takes them through to salvation. So there's two types of will. And a calling. For many are called, but few are chosen. Is not the same as, for those he did predestinate, them he also called. And those that he called, he also justified. And those he justified, he also glorified. So there's the calling from God, which was the latter of what I just gave you. Then there's the calling from man. For many are called. Doesn't say most are called, doesn't say all are called, just says many. And those are people that would hear the truth, like the parable of the sower and the seeds. But only few are chosen. That's the chosen few of the narrow way that few find, and those are God's elect. So there's different types of wills, there's different types of calling, and there's two types of temple. Nicholson, 1968, is a club member. I have seen his hand signals. He is extremely popular. He does expose the secret society that I don't name, that I believe he is without a doubt a part of. And that's all he does, is sell you on transhumanism, mark of the beast, that this is the temple of God that they're talking about. When in fact, the temple of God is only the body of the sheep, and the sheep, the Antichrist, will not reside in that temple. He will reside, or the demons, the ghost in the machine, the fallen angels will reside in the bodies. Sorry, hold on, sorry. Got a friend texting me. Okay. I didn't want what he was saying to come across. It was just about college football. So, but still, his privacy is respected. So, where was I? So the Antichrist is going to literally set up shop in a coming temple. The word talks about the sacrifices will cease, the daily sacrifices and so forth. This is known as the abomination that causes desolation. It will be an actual building, a temple, not inside somebody's body. So I'm going a long way to just give you the timeline. Let's cut to the chase. All right, in the movie Donnie Darko, which stood for Donald Darkness, the theme of the movie centered around that the world would end in 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, and 12 seconds. You add those up and you get 88. 88 stands for Trump in gematria. That was the theme of the movie. And so I always think that anytime something goes down, or like this buck full moon, which seemed to have been a pivotal point that occurred at 12:44 a.m. Eastern time zone. And there's another event in my mind, and this is my video, so I apologize, but this is what goes on in my own mind. When Trump wore that mask, that looked very, let me pull that up for you real quick. So the other event is when Trump wore the mask. And of course, Angel White. I like to break these up, or so I won't get a copyright strike, so I will stop it from time to time. But they were saying dead man walking. Dead man. Dead man walking here. Dead man walking here. We got a dead man walking here. We got a dead man walking here. So you get the idea? So that to me was a big ritual, dramatized theatrical event. So when I think about a potential Trump assassination, again, to his clone, which we really detailed, of course, here's a Donnie Darko scene. 28 days. 6 hours. Breaking it up again. Don't want a copyright strike. 42. This is from Mask Boy. 12 seconds. And I think they will say that's the day the world will end. Okay, and obviously it won't be when the world ends. Yeah. I mean, and I don't know. I shouldn't even speculate. Let's just stick to the facts. So the event that occurred first was the blood red moon, or the buck moon that came after the solar eclipse. And when you go 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, 12 seconds from exactly 12:44 a.m., you're looking at August 2nd. That's early in the morning. So I wouldn't suspect Trump would be assassinated early in the morning. Would you on a Sunday? No. But that's just something I look at. You know, trust me, when they stage it, how they stage it, who's going to do it. Obviously, we showed you that it would be his clone that it would happen to. Donald Trump, Antichrist, 15, 2 Trumps. It's got 109 views. Not too terrible. Extras? Only put it out yesterday. If y'all watched it, share it. But as we go through, we give a lot of examples of how they've told us that there's 2 Trumps. Now, I don't think there's 2 Trumps that you see in public. I think you just see Donald Trump in public. Red tie, blue tie. I don't necessarily go for that or fall for that, even though that could be it. I don't know. That's just not where my mind takes me. My mind takes me that the clone, when you see him get assassinated, it won't be much that you'll see on film, that it'll be a clone that takes the hit. And I would assume it will be on film to help with the mind control and the drama when they fake the whole Osama bin Laden. Yeah, I get him and Saddam Hussein mixed, but yeah, Osama bin Laden. You know how you didn't even see a body, you didn't even see a film. They just re-dramatized it for you. Still, a bunch of people believed it. About the dumbest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Oh, and we buried him out at sea because blah 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 blah. So yeah, all faked. And you're like, well, how do they fake that through the military? Because you got to be a made man in the system to move up in that military, to go through the ranks. They indoctrinate the kids in that system. As soon as they come in, it's a highly indoctrinated system, the military. It is not like it was when your great-grandfather was there in World War II. I can tell you that. It has sure changed a lot. Did I even see this? That looks pretty good. Angel White, not proper with their doctrine, biblically speaking. But I like the way they nailed down so much on Donald Trump being the Antichrist. So anyway, that is a timeline day. That's a watch date. Okay. I would watch for that day. Also, when he donned the mask, we don't know when he did it. So I just put 12 noon. So it would be sometime in the afternoon or evening, depending on when he was ever at. And I researched it. I couldn't find anything that told you the exact time he was at that hospital walking around in that mask. But that would throw August 8th at us also. August 8th. And I think, and that's in the evening. And that's on a Saturday. Now, Sirius, the dog star, when it rises, I think my friend showed me that would be, hang on just a quick second.
The helical rising of Sirius in the morning sky is a spectacular sight.
All right, you didn't get all of that on the recording, but the AI read this to you. The helical rising of Sirius is the star's first appearance in the morning sky before sunrise. That's when the dog days of summer are officially over. This is their big star. You got Sirius satellite radio, but this is their big star. Okay. So August 15th. So I would also look at August 12th, because why? Because to mimic Jesus, they would rise on the 3rd day. So August 12th or August 13th would be another watch date. Another watch date for Trump. "24 Hours of Le Mans race, September 19th and 20th of 2020.
According to ACO, Automobile Club de l'Ouest, in view of the changing health situation related to the coronavirus and the latest government guidelines, the 88th 24 Hours of Le Mans, initially scheduled for the 13th to the 14th of June, has been postponed until the 19th to the 20th of September 2020.
Christian Bale, who always plays Donald Trump in movies, he starred in the movie American Psycho, and I showed y'all all the similarities that led to Trump in the movie American Psycho. Uncanny. Then, of course, he played billionaire from New York City or Gotham City, Bruce Wayne, who had the big tower, Wayne Tower, like Trump Tower, both fighting crime, children under the city, saving the children under the city, both of them, according to QAnon. Well, then he played in a movie that centered around the 24 Hours of Le Mans called Ford versus Ferrari. Very good movie. The 24 Hours of Le Mans this year is what? It's the 88th running of it. So he just might have started in that movie. They might have put him in that movie just because it's the 88th. And of course, this is the year 2020. 2020, Twin Towers, Trump Tower, TT. That 2020 vision, Mad Dog 2020. I showed somebody the correlation between even the words Mad Dog and Trump. I can't remember what it was. I'll have to go back and look. I know who I sent it to, so I'll pause it toward the end and look for that. 88th running of Le Mans, though, is this year. So I doubt he's going to attend that race. Like he attended the Daytona 500, and that would be a watch date for his assassination. But what about on the same day, the 19th or the 20th, during the running of it? That would factor in greatly to their predictive programming, of course. You always got to look at September 11th. I mean, that's a no-brainer. By the way, the Le Mans race was officially scheduled for what? His birthday. So watch out for that date. I would also watch out, like I told y'all earlier, the Day of the Dead is October 31st, which is also within a 24-hour range of the full moon. There's 2 full moons. Full moon, October 31st, 2020.
Here's a summary from Old Farmer's Almanac. Moon phases for October 2020. New moon, October 16th, 3:31 p.m. First quarter moon,
Anyway,
October 23rd,
October 31st,
9:23 a.m.
There it is.
Moon, October 31st, 10:49 a.m.
October 31st at 10:49 a.m. You get the full hunter's moon. That is also the Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead, October 31st, 2020.
Here is information from Calendarpedia.
Day of the Dead, October 31st, 2020, which also happens to be on a hunter's full moon. And I showed y'all in the James Bond movie, I think it's Spectre. Or is it Skyfall? I can't remember. But it opens up at the Day of the Dead celebration. And at the very beginning of the movie, very dramatic. Let's take our chances. Was it Spectre? I believe so.
So the fun thing with the serpent is, how does a serpent talk? What, and not only that, but why is the serpent's punishment?
So why would we be getting a serpent? Notice how it says the dead, and then it's going to say is alive. So would he be assassinated on October 31st and then rise on the third day, because this is a 3-day event? So it says the dead are alive. And then it takes you through the whole Day of the Dead celebration, which we also have in IPEC GOAT 2. If I remember, they're showing us that. You do see that type of simulation. This is all done by artificial intelligence, which is exactly what QAnon is. That's why in this video, it literally says I am Q on the classroom chalkboard. So that's a Day of the Dead type of look that's taking place. So that is definitely something, that's another date to look forward to. What else? Oh, I know what I was going to show you. Day of the Dead 3-day celebration.
Day of the Dead in United States will begin on Saturday, October 31st, 2020, and ends on Monday, November 2nd.
That's on the third day. So if he got assassinated on that day, like Jesus, he would have risen on the third day. Well, why do they have that? What has October always been about? I mean, Halloween always, possibly it's always been about this upcoming potential event this year. You never want to set dates, but you always want to keep your eyes open. So I'm just throwing a whole bunch of stuff out there for y'all. Then y'all, the intelligent ones, can go out there and do the hard work. Y'all go out there and do the heavy lifting for me. All right. Another potential date is the last blood. This is the first time there's ever been 4, what do they call them? Perennial. 4 blood red perennial moons 2020. God, I can't think of it. I butchered it so bad that they wouldn't even correct the spelling for me. Penumbral. There it is. Penumbral lunar eclipse. The last one is November 30th, 2020, it says right there. For penumbral lunar eclipse moons 2020. Go. So we did have one. That was a buck moon. That was a penumbral. Penumbral, excuse me. There's never been 4 in one year before. Ta-da! Here we are. Well, the last one is November 30th. That would be another date to look at. Trump was born on a blood red moon. Is it possible that he would be born again? Wink, wink. Newly risen from the dead. We won't see his rising. That'll be because his assassination will take place and then he will go underground, which is what they showed us in the last Star Wars. The Emperor went underground and they referred to it as cloning, dark sciences. Only the Sith knew how to do it, which we would just say the Illuminati. And that from behind the veil, he had been running things for the Empire. Well, that's what Trump's going to be doing. He will, I think, to mimic Jesus, rise on the third day. The dark night rises. And that's Revelation also 11:7, which we showed you the 7-Eleven logo in the girl with the dragon tattoo. When they shall have finished their test, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit. So that's when he will have the spirit of Satan indwelt in him. So he would be born again, theoretically speaking, on the third day on a blood red moon. Is that the last one, by the way? Sure, that's what I meant. Are you going to give us all 4 dates in a list, please, so we don't waste everybody's time? Hang on just a quick second so I can see what I'm looking at. All right, so we had one in January, 10th and 11th. We had one in June, 5th and 6th. We had one on July 4th. And then, of course, we will have one on, get rid of the word for, key in November. They pop us up November 30th. So November 27th. Oh, 28th. The 28th, 29th, 30th. On the third day. 1 minute of a day counts as a whole day in the old Jewish Old Testament, which is why we assume it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I've heard it taught many different ways, that it was actually a Thursday. Who knows? I'm going to assume on the third day, just like October 31st, then November 1st, then November 2nd, boom. Or in this case, November 28th. So if y'all want to try to figure out any clues for November 28th that you come across, or 11/28 symbolism, predictive programming that you see, or 28/11, because they do things backwards in Europe, Canada, and so forth. They write their dates backwards. I think they do in Israel also. So that would be something to look for. And that would be about the last watch dates I could come up with, unless they prolong it all the way to their big celebration, which would be the winter solstice, December 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, somewhere around that range. So, but I suspect, if I had to guess out of any of these, oh, the one last one, the guy died 59 days after winning the 24 hours of Le Mans race in the movie Ford versus Ferrari. I think it was 59 days later. Whatever amount of days that was, that would be something to look at also. And I think that took me to, if I'm not mistaken, November 18th. So let's just key that in. September 20th. We'll remove the times. Was it 54 days or 59 days? It was 59, as I suspected, because I remember it was on the 18th. Go with your first instinct, Stux. I did say 59 first, right? November 18th would also be a hit date, because that would be 59 days. Again, the character that Christian Bale played in the movie died in real life 59 days after winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans. This year is the 88th running of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. If you do, because I Wikipedia'd the guy's name in real life that Christian Bale played, I Googled when that Le Mans race he won occurred. And Wikipedia, of course, gives your birthday and your death day. So I took the day that he died. It was 59 days later. So that's another date to look for. Now, that's right after the election. So that's a big date also. And then what was the other one? November 28th-ish, right? All right, that's it. That's all we got. I love you. Thanks a lot.